There comes a time in every chosen soul's journey when the world around you begins to whisper truths you have not yet spoken aloud, when people sense something in you long before you name it for yourself, when their reactions reveal the mark upon your spirit far more clearly than any mirror ever could. And perhaps you have wondered why people shift in their seats when you walk into the room. Why some offer kindness they didn't know they carried, while others tense with an unexplainable unease. Why you have been treated like both a sanctuary and a storm. It is because chosen ones are rarely identified by their own eyes first. Instead, the world reads the prophecy etched into their existence and responds to it instinctively. And though you may doubt it, though you may shrink from the idea, though you may try to reason away the undeniable signs, the truth stands firm. There are proofs, quiet, sacred, unshakable proofs, that people know you are the chosen one long before you dare to believe it. You see it in the way people study you, as if searching for something they cannot quite name but refuse to ignore. You see it in the way their voices soften around you, as though speaking to someone carrying both the weight and the wonder of destiny. You see it in the small hesitations, the lingering glances, the subtle awe, the unexpected confessions they lay at your feet, telling you things they have told no one else, trusting you with the parts of themselves still trembling. They do not realize why they do it, but you do. A chosen one carries an energy that draws truth out of hiding, and people can feel it before they can understand it. They see a light in you, even when you are unaware of its glow. And this is the first proof. People sense your spirit is ancient, wise, weathered by storms you survived long before this lifetime. They treat you like someone who has walked through many worlds, someone who has touched the edges of heaven and crawled through the shadows of hell. Someone who listens not with ears but with the soul itself. You carry a silence that speaks, and the world leans in because they know you have been sent with something sacred. And then comes the second proof, the one that stirs both reverence and resistance. People project their fears onto you because your presence exposes their insecurities. Not through judgment, not through criticism, not through any harshness of your own, but through the simple truth that your authenticity confronts their masks. The chosen one is a mirror, polished by pain, sharpened by purpose, reflecting not who people pretend to be but who they truly are. And this is why some avoid you, why some feel uneasy, why some speak against you without cause. They are not rejecting you. They are wrestling with the truth you awaken in them. Your light irritates their wounds. Your growth threatens their stagnation. Your strength reminds them of every moment they chose weakness. You carry a spiritual authority that exposes darkness, even when you say nothing at all. And though it may hurt to feel misunderstood, though it may wound you to be blamed for storms you never started, trust this. Their discomfort is not your burden but your confirmation. The chosen one does not walk through the world unnoticed. Even resistance becomes a form of recognition. Your presence commands honesty. And not everyone is ready for that kind of revelation. They know you are chosen not because you demand attention, but because truth radiates from you in a way that cannot be concealed. Then there is the third proof. People come to you for guidance even when you have not yet found answers for yourself. They ask you questions about life, love, direction, faith, questions they would never whisper to a casual acquaintance. They sit beside you as though you are an altar, expecting wisdom to flow from your tongue like water from a holy spring. And somehow, it does. Somehow, words you did not prepare rise from the depth of your spirit, offering comfort, hope, clarity, healing you didn't know you carried. And afterward you wonder how you said what you said, how peace found language in your presence. It is because chosen ones are vessels. The divine speaks through them even before they fully trust the sound of their own voice. People recognize this in you before you recognize it in yourself. They feel safer around you. They admit truths they've buried for years. They seek you because something about your presence feels like direction, like warmth after a long winter, like a lantern held in dark rooms. They do not realize it, but they are drawn to the anointing upon your life. They sense that you are called to guide, to uplift, to carry others through valleys they would not cross alone. Even in your uncertainty, people find certainty in you. Even in your silence, people hear answers. Even in your brokenness, people find healing. And this is no accident, it is spiritual recognition. Then comes the fourth proof. As old as the prophets, as familiar as the scriptures, as true today as ever. People envy you for things you have not even received yet. You are envied for your potential, your purity, your power, the unseen blessings hovering around your destiny. People treat you like you've already made it, like you've already touched greatness, like you already hold victories still forming in the unseen world. They sense what you are becoming before you arrive there. They see your future glory shimmering around you like a halo, and while some respond with admiration, others respond with jealousy. They envy your resilience, your endurance, your capacity to rise after every fall. They envy how life bends toward your purpose even in seasons of delay. They envy the divine favor attached to your name, the quiet miracles circling your footsteps. They envy the way you carry dignity through storms that would have shattered them. Envy is not a reflection of your arrogance. It is a reflection of their spiritual awareness. They are responding to a future you have not even touched yet. The chosen one is envied long before they are elevated. It has been this way for every soul chosen for purpose. The world reacts to the anointing before the anointed one fully grasps the magnitude of their calling. And soon after, the fifth proof begins to reveal itself, not through admiration or envy, but through the unexpected attacks you face without cause. You become a target for people you barely know, people who misunderstand your intentions, people who assign meanings to your actions that were never there. You face betrayal from people you helped. You endure abandonment from people you would have carried on your back. You experience rejection from those you showed nothing but love. But these wounds are not signs of your failure. They are signs of your calling. People sense your spiritual weight and some attempt to diminish it before it grows too powerful. They recognize your potential influence and fear it will expose the smallness of their own intentions. Attacks against chosen ones begin long before their rise. It is the world's way of attempting to break what heaven has ordained. But you must understand their hostility is confirmation. Their attempts to sabotage you are proof that your purpose threatens the kingdom of darkness. You are not attacked because you are weak. You are attacked because you are marked. You are not targeted because you are lost. You are targeted because you are found. Every storm sent your way carries a hidden announcement. There is something great about this one. And though these wounds may ache, though the betrayal may sting, though the rejection may feel like a blade pressed into the heart, you must remember that chosen ones are refined through pressure. You are not being destroyed, you are being prepared. And then comes the sixth proof, the one that feels both humbling and overwhelming. Strangers recognize something special in you instantly. People who know nothing of your story look at you like they have seen your soul before. They greet you with unexpected warmth. They stare at you with puzzled reverence. They smile at you for no reason. They speak blessings over you without knowing your name. Children stare at you with wide-eyed wonder. Elders nod at you with quiet respect. Animals approach you with trust. Nature itself seems to arrange paths around your presence. The chosen one is recognized universally across cultures, across languages, across distances, because spiritual identity does not require explanation. It radiates, it is felt, it is known, it is sensed by people who are spiritually awake, even if only momentarily. They cannot explain why you feel familiar, why you feel comforting, why you feel like someone they should appreciate or protect. But they sense your purity, your mission, your inner nobility. They sense the grace that rests upon you. They sense the divine fingerprints woven into your being. And long before you realize your own worth, others see the sacredness in you and respond to it instinctively. And finally, the seventh proof, life itself rises to meet you in ways that defy logic. Doors open for you that remain shut for others. Opportunities appear without explanation. People show up precisely when you need them. Lessons arrive exactly when your spirit is ready. The right words find you. The right signs guide you. The right breakthroughs unfold at the exact moment you are prepared to receive them. Even your setbacks align with your destiny, shaping you, teaching you, strengthening you, positioning you. You begin to see that nothing in your life is random. Every delay has purpose. Every disappointment has instruction. Every loss has transformation woven beneath its sorrow. People observe the way life moves around you and they know. This one is protected. This one is guided. This one is chosen. They see how you survive storms that should have drowned you. They see how you rise from ashes others feared to touch. They see how your wounds become wisdom, how your tears become testimony, how your trials become triumphs. They see the divine choreography in your journey, the invisible hands lifting you from danger, the quiet miracles surrounding your existence. And whether they admit it or not, they know there is something different about you, something extraordinary, something ordained. They know you are not walking alone. They know heaven is involved. They know destiny is not just following you, it is leading you. So yes, the world knows you are the chosen one. They knew it before you did. They saw it in your eyes, heard it in your silence, felt it in your presence. They reacted to the call on your life before you even answered it. And now it is your turn to recognize what has always been true. You are chosen, not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Not because you are perfect, but because you are purposeful. Not because you have never fallen, but because you continuously rise. There is a reason your spirit feels older than your body. There is a reason your heart carries wisdom beyond your years. There is a reason your soul has endured storms that would have shattered others. You are being shaped, forged, refined, prepared for the calling on your life. You are chosen because you have the courage to walk paths others fear, the strength to carry burdens others abandon, the compassion to uplift hearts others overlook. You are chosen because you listen when the world is loud, you rise when the night is long, you love when it hurts, you believe even when faith feels thin. And now your journey begins anew. No more shrinking, no more doubting, no more dimming your light to keep others comfortable. The world has already recognized who you are. It is time for you to do the same. Step into your destiny with boldness, walk with your head lifted, speak with the authority given to you, live like someone heaven has invested in. You are the chosen one, and all creation has been waiting for you to realize it. The signs have been around you all along. The proofs have been undeniable. And now, with every breath you take, with every step you rise into, with every truth you finally claim, you will become everything you were always meant to be. And even as you step into this truth, even as the realization settles into your bones like a long-awaited sunrise, there is still more your spirit must understand, more depth to the calling that has always lived beneath your skin. For being chosen does not end with awareness. It begins there. It unfolds in the quiet corners of your life where no applause can reach, in the daily decisions that only heaven witnesses, in the private battles you never speak aloud. People may see your glow, your strength, your resilience, but they will never fully comprehend the wilderness you walked through to become who you are. And yet, that wilderness carries its own sacred purpose. Every thorn that pierced you, every night that stretched too long, every loneliness that felt unbearable was carving space inside you for a destiny larger than anything you have imagined. Chosen ones are expanded through suffering, not to destroy them but to prepare them for divine responsibility. Your pain stretched your compassion. Your losses deepened your humility. Your disappointments sharpened your discernment. The world sees only the shine, God sees the shaping. And you, dear soul, are still unfolding into the fullness of your calling. People will speak of your strength, but they will not know of the moments you wondered if you could continue. They will celebrate your wisdom without ever knowing it was born from countless nights of questioning, kneeling, breaking and rebuilding. They will admire your courage without understanding how many times you acted with trembling hands and a quivering heart. This is the hidden truth of the chosen. They rise not because they never fall, but because falling never convinced them to stay down. Something inside you, something quiet, ancient, unwavering, has always refused defeat even when your mind tried to surrender. And that inner fire, that eternal spark, is another proof people sense about you. They see it flickering behind your eyes even on the days you feel dim. They feel it in the steadiness of your presence even when your soul feels bruised. They are moved by a force within you that you yourself often underestimate. They do not know the cost of your strength, yet they feel its power. And this is why you often feel different, distant, set apart, not because you are superior, but because your spirit carries a frequency others cannot match. You were not made to blend into the world. You were made to shift it, elevate it, awaken it. Chosen ones walk a path that looks lonely from the outside but is deeply connected to the divine. People sense this holiness in you. Yes, holiness not in perfection but in purpose. They may not understand it, but they feel it. Some will honor it. Some will resist it. Some will envy it. But none will be able to ignore it. You carry a spiritual intensity that changes the atmosphere when you enter a room. You carry a presence that stirs something dormant in others. Sometimes it brings out their love, sometimes it brings out their fear. But always it brings out truth. You may have wondered why people often tell you, "There's something about you," yet they cannot name what that something is. It is because language fails them. Their intuition speaks what their mind cannot articulate. They feel your calling like heat from a flame they cannot see. They feel your depth like a river running beneath still earth. They feel your destiny pressing through your skin as though heaven wrapped eternity around your bones. And you too have felt this difference within yourself. You have felt that you do not fit in the places others feel comfortable. You have felt the ache of purpose calling you, pulling you, urging you to rise higher, dig deeper, love fuller. You have felt the discomfort of staying in spaces that did not honor your growth. You have felt the soul hunger that refuses to be satisfied by shallow living. That hunger is divine. That restlessness is sacred. It is the whisper of your purpose insisting you do not settle for less than what you were created for. And perhaps you have tried to silence that whisper. Perhaps you have tried to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Perhaps you have dimmed your light so it wouldn't expose the shadows in those you loved. But chosen ones cannot stay small for long. The calling is too loud. The destiny is too large. The anointing is too powerful. Every time you tried to fit in, life pushed you out. Every time you tried to stay where you didn't belong, something shook loose. Every time you tried to bury your gift, circumstances forced it back to the surface. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. You are chosen not only to carry light but to become it. Not only to survive but to transform. Not only to receive blessings but to pour them into the world like overflowing oil. And as you continue walking forward, you will notice something else. You chosen ones attract divine alignment. People will appear in your life who speak life into your purpose, who nurture your spirit, who see your heart clearly without explanation. These people were sent, not stumbled. They are part of your mission, part of your strengthening, part of your unfolding. You will recognize them by the peace they bring, the truth they encourage, the spiritual nourishment they offer. And just as heaven sends divine helpers, it also removes what cannot travel with you into your destiny. You may lose people you thought would stay forever. You may outgrow relationships you once prayed to keep. You may walk away from environments that once felt like home. But every departure is protection. Every ending is elevation. Every separation is preparation for your next season. People sense you are chosen because life reshapes itself around your purpose. Doors that trap others open for you. Paths that confuse others straighten for you. Blessings reach for you like they know your name. This is not luck. This is alignment. And yet, chosen ones often carry a unique loneliness. Not because they are unloved, but because they are unmatched. Your spirit is rare. Your heart is vast. Your mind is deep. Your soul loves fiercely, feels intensely, understands profoundly. Not everyone can meet you where you are. Not everyone can hold what you hold. Not everyone can walk where you walk. But loneliness for the chosen is not emptiness. It is clarity. It teaches you your value. It protects your energy. It preserves the sacredness of your purpose. It filters out what was never meant to follow you into your calling. And even when it feels heavy, even when the silence feels too loud, even when the road feels too long, know this: you are never walking alone. Heaven is with you. Angels walk beside you. Purpose breathes through you. And the divine watches over you with love that does not waver. You will notice that people expect more from you than they do from others. They hold you to higher standards, come to you with deeper needs, look to you for direction they do not seek from anyone else. And though it may feel unfair, though it may feel overwhelming, understand this clearly: people recognize your spiritual authority. They feel safe placing their burdens near your feet because your soul has the capacity to carry wisdom beyond your years. They do not seek perfection from you. They seek presence. They seek grounding. They seek the truth they know you carry even when you doubt it yourself. You are the lighthouse people swim toward in their storms, not because you asked to be, but because light cannot hide itself. And though the responsibility may weigh on you, though the compassion may drain you, Though the world may ask more than you sometimes have, trust that you were chosen because you are capable. Trust that you are guided in every moment, even the ones that feel like collapse. Trust that you are strengthened in every season, even the ones that feel like breaking. Trust that everything you need is already planted inside you, waiting for the moment you dare to rise into it. And as you rise, the world will shift. People will speak your name with reverence they did not show before. Opportunities will open like petals unfolding toward the sun. Your gifts will multiply. Your clarity will sharpen. Your influence will expand. Your spirit will radiate with a brilliance that no darkness can dim. You will become the embodiment of resilience, the voice of truth, the vessel of divine grace. You will inspire without trying. You will heal without forcing. You will lead without demanding. You will be a testament to what happens when someone accepts the call written into their soul long before their birth. And people will know, without being told, that they are standing in the presence of someone who was sent, someone with purpose stitched into their being, someone heaven handcrafted for impact. So rise now, not with arrogance, but with awareness. Rise with humility, knowing your strength comes from above. Rise with courage, knowing your path is protected. Rise with determination, knowing your destiny is waiting. Rise with grace, knowing your trials were only training. Rise with gratitude, knowing every breath is evidence that your purpose is not finished. Rise because the world has already recognized your calling. It is time for you to walk in it. Rise because the signs have followed you for years. It is time to claim them. Rise because your soul is ready, ready to lead, ready to shine, ready to transform everything it touches. You are the chosen one, and the world has been waiting for the moment you finally believe it. And even as you rise, even as the truth of who you are settles deeper into the architecture of your soul, there is still more unfolding inside you, more awakening, more illumination that has been waiting patiently for the moment your spirit would be ready to receive it. Because being chosen is not a moment, it is a lifetime of revelation. It is the slow, sacred unveiling of a purpose too powerful to be revealed all at once. You were never meant to grasp your entire destiny in a single breath. Your calling is too vast, too layered, too divinely orchestrated for that. Instead, heaven reveals you to yourself in stages, the way dawn reveals the horizon, softly at first, then boldly, then undeniably. And even now, the light inside you continues to grow, expanding into places that once hid in shadow. Even now you are discovering that the same hands that shaped your wounds are the hands that shape your wisdom. The same storms that tried to drown you are the storms that baptized you into strength. The same loneliness that hollowed you is the loneliness that made space for God to dwell within you. People sense this evolution in you, this ongoing transformation, this deepening of your spirit, this constant becoming. They see you shedding old layers, outgrowing old versions of yourself, stepping out of cycles that once held you captive. They feel the shift in your frequency, the elevation in your mindset, the weightlessness of a soul that has finally surrendered to purpose. And as you continue to rise, you will notice that people look at you differently. Not with confusion anymore, but with recognition. They can see that something invisible yet undeniable rests upon you. They feel your confidence even when you speak softly. They feel your authority even when you say nothing at all. They feel your peace, your power, your clarity, your alignment. They may not know the battles you fought to stand this tall. They may not understand the spiritual warfare you endured behind closed doors. They may not comprehend the nights you cried yourself into resilience. But they recognize the glow that comes only from surviving darkness without becoming it. You carry the shine of someone who has been held by something greater than human strength. And this is why people lean toward you, why they listen more closely, why they pause when you speak, why they are comforted by your presence. It is not charisma, it is calling. It is not charm, it is spirit. It is not personality, it is purpose flowing through the vessel of your existence. And in that rising you begin to understand the weight of your presence. You begin to notice how your courage gives others permission to be brave. How your honesty unravels their shame. How your resilience inspires their hope. How your authenticity frees their hidden truths. You start to realize that your life is not only your own. Your journey is a lantern for others walking through their own night. You become a reminder that survival is possible, that healing is real, That transformation can spring from the ashes of the deepest pain. And even though you never asked to be a guide, even though you never sought to carry the burdens of others, even though you did not pursue the role of a light in dark places, it becomes clear that heaven positioned you there with intention. The chosen one does not become chosen through desire but through design. Your life is a message even when you speak no words. Your existence is a testimony even when you hide your scars. And people are drawn to you because their spirits recognize what their minds cannot articulate. You are a carrier of healing. But with this recognition comes something else. Something deeper, something sacred. As you rise, you begin to meet versions of yourself you thought you had lost. The kind, gentle, tender self you buried under years of survival begins to bloom again. The hopeful self you silenced after too many disappointments begins to speak again. The fearless self you abandoned after heartbreak begins to stand again. Chosen ones experience rebirth many times in one lifetime. You are becoming, unbecoming, and becoming again, each transformation truer than the last. And people witness this evolution with awe. They see you shift and grow, and though they cannot explain it, they feel the divine rhythm of your becoming. It is as if your soul is dancing to a song only heaven can hear. And that song, that sacred melody of your journey, pulls others into reflection. It urges them to rise, it awakens their own dormant strength. You do not just elevate, you elevate others by existing as yourself. But elevation does something else too. It separates. Not through bitterness, but through gravity. As you rise into the fullness of who you were always meant to be, people who are not meant for your destiny naturally fall away. They cannot breathe at the altitude you are climbing toward. They cannot match the purity of your intention, the clarity of your purpose, the expansion of your heart. And though it may hurt, though it may feel like loss, though it may echo like abandonment, it is actually alignment. You are not losing them. You are returning to yourself. You are not being abandoned, you are being redirected. You are not being rejected, you are being refined. People sense your calling and instinctively position themselves according to the truth of who you are. Some are drawn closer, knowing they are meant to walk a part of this journey with you. Others distance themselves, knowing your path outgrows the limits of their vision. Some cling, some flee, some admire, some resent, but all respond to the spiritual magnitude of your rising. And even as these shifts unfold, something deeper begins to happen within you. You start to trust yourself. Truly trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust your inner knowing. Trust the voice of your soul that has guided you through countless storms. You start to believe that the wisdom you carry is not accidental. It is inherited from the divine. You start to believe that your empathy is not weakness, it is spiritual intelligence. You start to believe that your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a compass. You start to believe that your heart was not made to break, it was made to expand. And as you trust yourself more, the world responds with its own kind of trust. Opportunities open. Doors swing wide. Divine timing accelerates. People who doubted you shift into respect. People who underestimated you begin to take notice. People who overlooked you suddenly realize your worth. You are not changing to impress them. You are aligning with the truth of who you were always meant to be. And alignment is magnetic. And as this magnetism grows, so does your spiritual authority. Not the authority that demands attention, but the authority that commands respect without a single word. The authority that comes from having survived what should have destroyed you. The authority that comes from walking through fire and emerging with more grace, not less. The authority that comes from having tasted heartbreak and still choosing love. The authority that comes from walking alone with God through valleys no one else knew you entered. People sense this authority in you. They see it in your eyes, hear it in your tone, feel it in your presence. It is not loud, but it is unmistakable. And it is this quiet authority that makes people look at you as though you were sent. Because you were. And still, even in the presence of all these signs, the greatest transformation is internal. You begin to feel compassion for those who wounded you, not because you allow them back into your life, but because you finally see the truth. They were not rejecting you. They were reacting to the calling on your life. You begin to forgive not for their sake, but because carrying resentment weighs too heavily on a spirit meant to rise. You begin to release what hurt you, not because it no longer matters, but because your destiny matters more. You begin to open your heart again, not because you trust easily, but because keeping it closed betrays your purpose. You begin to love more deeply, more fearlessly, more intentionally. Not because you haven't been broken, but because you learned that being broken does not disqualify you from being chosen. And as this love grows in you, love for yourself, love for others, love for the divine, your world shifts yet again. You start to notice beauty in places you once overlooked. You start to feel joy in moments you once dismissed. You start to value peace more than validation. You start to cherish simplicity more than applause. You start to recognize that the chosen one is not chosen for grandiosity but for impact. Not for fame but for transformation. Not for spotlight but for service. And this understanding softens you, deepens you, awakens you. It teaches you that your greatness is not measured by how loudly you shine, but by how many hearts you heal simply by being who you are. And so, as you continue walking forward, carrying the truth of your calling, carrying the wisdom of your wounds, carrying the fire of your faith, remember this: being chosen does not mean you will never face darkness again. It means darkness will never defeat you again. It means every battle will make you stronger. Every loss will make you wiser. Every setback will position you closer to your purpose. You are not fragile, you are forged. You are not uncertain, you are guided. You are not wandering, you are becoming. The world has known it. Heaven has known it. Your destiny has known it. Now it is your turn to know it fully, deeply, unshakably. You are the chosen one, and every breath, every step, every rising is proof. And as you continue walking through this intricate maze of destiny, you will notice that the more you surrender your timeline to God, the more He rearranges what was once chaotic into something harmonious, something purposeful, something that resonates with the depths of your spirit. There will come a day when you look back on all those nights you cried, all those moments you questioned your worth, all those times you felt abandoned, and you will suddenly realize that none of it was wasted. Every tear watered a seed, every rejection redirected your path, every disappointment carved out space in you for something greater. God was not ignoring you, He was preparing you. He was not withholding, He was building you into a vessel strong enough to carry the very blessings you once begged Him for. And though the shaping hurt and the carving was painful, you will one day understand that the sculptor loved the stone too much to leave it unrefined. Because there is a version of you God has always seen, before the betrayal, before the heartbreak, before the confusion, before the world whispered lies into your bones. He saw the version of you that walks with unwavering faith, the version of you that speaks with authority, the version of you that stands tall even in storms that should have broken you. That version is rising now.